Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome in. This is the NFL Live crew. We've got former GM Mike Tannenbaum. We have NFL ace reporter Jeff Darlington here. And I'm Dianna Russini. So guys, draft just wrapped up. Tons of storylines coming out of it, but it's always fun to look back to think who really had the best draft value pick of all time. I think we can agree Tom Brady, of course, taking a look back at that. Mike, you were in the league when Tom Brady was coming into it. What do you remember from that time?
Actually, I was in the draft room. I'll never forget it. We had 4 first-round picks in 2000, and we took Chad Pennington with the 3rd or the 4th picks. And in the 3rd round that year, this is remarkable, Bill Walsh drafts Giovanni of Hofstra University, which was right across from the Jets facility. And we're like, oh, my God, we blew it. Bill Walsh, this quarterback whisperer, takes Carmazzi, who's across the street in the 3rd round. We're like, oh, man, we just blew it. And then in the 6th round, some guy named Tom Brady went with the 199th pick.
By the way, Chad Pennington, not a bad pick, but Tom Brady blowing away. And when you look at the history of Tom Brady and kind of go back to Bobby Greer, a guy who actually helped scout him out and find him, but if any team knew what Tom Brady was going to be, they would have picked him way before 199. That's the end of the story.
These incredible players have come out in the later rounds like Tom Brady. When we talk about that, though, what are some other names that you think of, and you can actually reflect back, like you were probably scouting, going, this guy's okay, and then they turn out to be great? Are there any names that just come right to your mind?
Yeah, you know, I think a great lesson is Wes Welker, because Wes Welker is short, he's slow, but he was historic as it related to a 3-cone. And a 3-cone is a drill that assesses short area quickness and change of direction. And it was a great lesson from a scouting standpoint to know that, hey, just because you can't run fast or you have the right height, if you have a dominant attribute, you could become a very productive player. So for me, it would be Wes Welker.
Yeah, the heart might be the most dominant attribute with Welker. It's funny, Shannon Sharp, a guy who was drafted in the 7th round in 1992, who did have the assets, and it's like, well, what were people missing out on there?
Yeah.
And, you know, if you really go back in time, though, like before the draft was really scouted the way it is now, I mean, it's amazing for a guy to get passed up now compared to back when Bart Starr and Roger Staubach were like 17th round picks.
Well, what are those challenges? Because it has to be difficult.
You find them everywhere now, though. Everybody's scouting at this point. Yeah. Every rock is overturned.
But there's also another aspect of it to me. ESPN's Jeff Saturday, you know, when he was coming out, a lot of people said Jeff could play on Saturday but not Sunday. And that's because he was not, you know, a great athlete. His measurables weren't great. But what Jeff Saturday had, you already touched on it, Jeff, he had heart, he had determination, he had grit. And he was a great example of offensive line. That's a developmental position. So Jeff Saturday, to me, is another example of a guy that willed himself to be a really good player, played at a high level for a long time. He had tremendous intangibles.
You're seeing a little bit of a trend, by the way, in scouting right now where guys were going off of measurables so often in the scouting combine, and now teams seem like they're trying to shift more toward productivity and who they are and what they've done. It'll be interesting if the combine ever holds less weight than it does now, but teams trying to not put so much emphasis on measurables, and then maybe guys like Tom Brady won't slip to 199.
I don't think it ever hurts to tie a bow on a story like this or a discussion like this to remind everybody, right? Drew Brees, 2nd round. Frank Gore, 3rd round. Antonio Brown, 6th round. Terrell Owens, 3rd round. Dan Fouts, 3rd round.
Russell Wilson was also...
Oh, there was one too.
There's some incredible players there.
Diana, you know what that is? Like the lesson is, it's not where you start, guys. It's where you finish, and it's you know the intangibles. You know, Jerry Angelo, longtime general manager, I thought he had a great line. He said, you know, the tape sets the floor, the baseline talent sets the floor, the character sets the ceiling, and all those people that you just read off, impeccable character.
And with that, we're going to finish right here. Thanks, guys.